Today we're going to do a pretty simple project. We've got a no forge weld fire poker. It's pretty straightforward. All we need is our anvil and our hammer. I'm using a 1/4 inch square bar. This is roughly 32 inches. I like anywhere between 30 and 36 inches. Shorter than that and your hand gets real close to the fire. Longer than that and you're standing way far back. And then of course our obligatory optional tool, bending forks. I'm going to be using these. You absolutely can do it without them. So let's get the steel hot and jump right in.
I start by forging a taper onto the end of the bar, and for this project I'm going to want to have a long, gentle taper on the bar. Once I have the point forged in, I'll use the edge of the anvil to draw out the bar until I have about 6 to 8 inches forged down to about 3/16 of an inch. The exact measurements here are not really important. It's just whatever you want to get it down to, and it depends a lot on your starting material. Now, forging on the diagonals, I'm going to round out that entire section that I drew out. And after I get that taper rounded, I'm going to move up the bar, and I'm also going to round a few inches of the bar where it's still the original thickness. Now I'm going to use the bending forks in the hardy hole of the anvil to bend around the end of the poker. I'm going to start by bending the bar around 180 degrees so that the curve starts at the spot where the taper begins. In the same heat, I'm going to flip it around and bend the handle back 90 degrees in the other direction so that now the tip is perpendicular to the handle. I'll hammer sideways a little bit on the bending forks just to make sure that that transition's a nice clean 90. Then, to the flat face of the anvil, I'll use the edge to check and make sure that I've got a good 90 degrees and just make a few minor adjustments. Now, with the functional end of the fire poker finished, I'm going to heat up the other end of the bar so I can forge a nice handle onto it. This part is technically optional, but having a nice handle on the tool makes it a lot more comfortable to use. Now for this tool, I'm going to do what I like to refer to as a vine wrapped handle. So I'm going to draw the end of the bar down to about an 1/8 inch thick, and then you'll see I'm going to fold it back over on itself and wrap it around the handle. I find that it gives a nice, comfortable grip. You just want to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and round. And now I'm actually making the handle. You can see I'm back to the bending forks, and I'm going to go about 270 degrees around the smaller side of my bending forks. This is the reason that these particular bending forks have a big side and a small side, is for doing stuff like this. This is going to make a nice loop that I can use to hang the fire poker. I'm going to drive down on that loop a little bit. This will make it a little bit smaller, and it will center the loop with the handle rather than having it offset like it was originally. And after I have the loop, I'm going to take some scrolling tongs and wrap that thin tail around the handle. And you can see here I didn't like how far apart they were getting, so I'm going to take a couple of heats just to make some adjustments and get it to exactly where I want it. Now that I'm down to the very end, I'm going to bring the hammer back out just to push that tail right up tight against the inner handle and to bring that end down tight against the bar. I'm going to jump over to the vise here. I'm going to twist this section of square bar here in the middle. This is absolutely not necessary, but I think it gives it a nice character. Keeps it from just having a big, long, untouched section in the middle. Makes it look nice. And to do that twist, I just have one end locked in the vise, and then I'm going to put a twisting wrench on the other end. While it's still hot, I just twist around with the wrench, and then we're going to go back over to the anvil. And back over at the anvil, I'm just going to use some really light blows to make sure that that twisted section has stayed straight. I don't want to hit very hard here, or I'm actually going to dent the points on that rounded section, and it will look like I messed up. Some nice light blows will just straighten it out a bit. And here is the finished fire poker. You can see I can push on it with the end there, and I can use that point for stabbing into the edge of a log and pulling it around in the fire. The handle is nice and comfortable, gives really good grip with that wrap. If you like this video, please like, comment with what other things you'd like to see me make, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos.